Hello, YouTube. How are you? I'm going to talk about something cool tonight, just connecting on Facebook. I appreciate your patience. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to talk about why your trading rules are supposed to be broken. I know it sounds counterintuitive. I know that you were told you are not supposed to, and I am telling you it is all nonsense. You are supposed to follow some rules, but if you think that you could set up a system and follow every rule, you are not a human being. I'm going to explain why, how to be fluid in your trading and not so rigid, the psychology behind it all. I am Mark Melnick. This is the Newsbeat Show. I know you're all antsy tomorrow and you want to trade, but yet, alas, the market is closed and you can't trade. So, why not improve your trading now for Tuesday? I hear it all the time on Wall Street. They structure you in this box, and people love the feeling. That structure is an imprisonment towards your success. Do not believe it. I will prove it beyond any reasonable doubt of what I am saying is true. You want to start with it? Okay. And then I'll explain why and how to fix it and how to make money. But Mark Melnick is crazy. What is he doing late on Sunday telling me that your trading rules are meant to be broken? Well, allow me to retort. Explain to me why the most disciplined people on the planet, astronauts, engineers, doctors, lawyers, Newsbeat Live members, all of those categories. Well, I don't want to say astronauts, but let's say astronaut, as far as I know, just one. People who have been in space. But let me tell you one thing. Why is it true that every single trader has broken your own rules? Now, I would ask you if to have a vote if you've ever broken your rules several times. And you're all going to answer yes, so I'm not even going to ask you. Yet, when we see these trading systems, they need to be very rigid. You enter here, usually when a candlestick breaks out, right? Or if it's digesting, ready to break up or down. Is that your favorite setup? Or maybe you like the bull or bear flags. Ooh, the thrills. Like a great adventure roller coaster. But explain to me, ladies and gentlemen, if what I am saying is untrue, why does every trader do it? And I'm going to tell you why you do it, why you break your own rules, and why it's actually healthy, and why what your brain and body are trying to tell you. You see, it's very easy, ladies and gentlemen, to say, buy at $50, stop at 48, and set a take profit at 54, 55. You're making 2 to 1 or better. And you only have to be right half the time, or even 40% of the time, and you will make money. Ooh. But you're not going to be right 40% of the time. Because if those systems work, explain to me why 97, 98% of the people are not re-upping to your service at the end of the year. Are they not seeing it? I'm not saying they all have to make money, but why are they all losing faith in your own system? Because you put them in jail. You put them in a box where they cannot grow, where they cannot think, where they cannot use any outside influence whatsoever to change their ideas, and you destroyed people. All of you. All of you. You were part of the problem, Wall Street, not the traders who followed you. Oh, really? I'm a little pissed. You explained to me people destroying their lives over these systems. And then you'll understand why I'm so angry, because I've seen it before. I've been running these rooms. Going on my 13th year running a trading room. I'm going on my 21st year as an active intraday trader, and it angers me. You want me to remain calm and relaxed? Well, ladies and gentlemen, no. I'm past the point of niceties. I need to drill this concept in your head because I want you to succeed. I'm not pitching, I'm not selling you anything, all right? I'm here late at night. I could be doing something much more, you know, something else with my time. I could be going out with my friends right now in Brooklyn. I could be doing a million other things. I want to help you and take this unique opportunity right now on a 3-day weekend to try to bring you to that next level. And here's the point. I'll prove it to you. Usually, and this is a scam for 97 to 98% of people, because 97 to 98% of people fail. And yes, you could argue the mathematics behind it, but the mathematics never turn into anything. And it's usually like this. It's usually, I'm going to make up the numbers, just simple numbers. Buy at $10. Set stop immediately because you're a disciplined trader. You're not going to let it run. You're a fool if you let it just plummet. You need to know what you're going to lose. Oh, what are you risking? A $500? All right, you took 1,000 shares. Are you risking $500? You're telling me? Set stop immediately at 950. Oh, well, I'm in this market to make money. If I'm risking 50 cents, I need to make at least $1. Okay, that's the system. So you buy these 1,000 shares, and you're all going to break your rules eventually. And I'm telling you that it's a healthy thing and why. So you can, if I could change your mindset where when you break a rule, you draw it in a powerful way, in a psychologically powerful way, you're going to be able to embrace it and make money off it. Why is it that so many of the traders take the same strategies, yet you have this huge group that fails and this little micro percent that win? What happened? I think it's pretty straightforward. You know, are you telling me that 97% of people don't know how to set a stop and set a target? How is it possible that shouldn't you all lose money or all make money? I mean, what am I missing here? What am I missing here? So you buy 1,000 shares at $10, right? And the stock goes up to 10.50. You're like, can't sell now. Why? Because you're a fool, right? You're breaking your rules if you sell at 10.50. That's not part of your system. Hold on. You have to hold for $11. Might go to 11, might not. One of those two things will definitely happen, right? But what if you bought at $10 and your trade is taking longer? See, nobody talks about the time frame of your trades, which I find hilarious. Nobody says when you buy here, sell here, and this here. Nobody tells you if it's going to take 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 3 hours, 2 hours. And you could be just sitting there missing everything else in the market because you're just sitting there with your eyes crazy glued to a chart. How many people know what I'm talking about? My God, I've been here 21 years. You know, I know I've done that wrong. You see, anything I know, it's because I screwed up before over the years and learned from it the hard way. Now, let's say you have a moving average that's drifting down as your stock is going sideways, a moving average above you, and your stock all of a sudden at 1050 keeps hitting this moving average and has issues going up. And then you see the market going down. What do you do there? Now your stock's at 1040 from 1050. What do you do? Well, you're in a lose-lose situation psychologically, according to every single system on Wall Street. Because if you sell, you're a fool because you didn't wait for your target price and you sell too early and you have no patience and you have no holding power, is what they'll tell you if you sell it. And if you hold it, you're going to psychologically damage yourself because you felt like selling it and you didn't. And then you watch your stock go from, for example, 1040 back down to 10 or 990. Now you're down money after being up a full, you know, whatever you are risking, a risk unit or whatever they call it, right? Now all of a sudden you're sitting there and you're like, now I feel like an idiot. You were just in a lose-lose situation. Do you understand that, ladies and gentlemen? So when your brain breaks your rules, it's actually trying to save you, not hurt you. And whoever designed this prison, you are just trying, your brain is trying to spread its wings and fly away because it notices the nonsense and you don't understand why it is doing these things. You don't understand why it's doing these things. Your trading rules were meant to be fluid, not rigid. Your trading rules are meant to be flexible, not perfectly defined. And anybody who tells you that is going to end up destroying you most likely. And if you're the 1 or 2% out there that are watching, you're like, no, this is whatever. Yeah, okay. I'm generalizing for the 97, 98%. So excuse me. You're unique. Most people are not in that aspect. Most people can't handle big losses to make big wins, even bigger wins. Most traders can't make 2,000, lose 1,000, make 2,000, lose 1,000, lose 1,000, make 2,000, lose 1,000. They can't do that. Not consistently. Not without psychological toxicity. Not without psychological damage. They cannot do it. What on this blue marble circling the sun makes you think that you can do that without suffering psychological toxicity? I find it funny. I find it funny how the majority of these gurus don't really have families. I find that utterly interesting. And by families, I mean dependents, just so we're clear. Like straight up dependents. Most don't. And the ones that do, for the most, as a generalization, don't do well. Okay? That's generalized. Yes, there are exceptions to the rule. And the reason for that is when you're taking care of a family, you cannot have those up and down swings. As a trader, you're going to need your P&L to slowly climb higher. And if your P&L can't keep continuously slowing, climbing higher, 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 believe me, you're going to be happier being the trader, making $500, you know, making $500 four times a week, losing $500 once, then making 2,000, losing 1,000, making 1,500, losing 2,000, making 2,000, making 3,000, losing 2,000. Even if you end up making more money in the latter, you're going to be a much more stable and happier trader being the first person. You're going to be better to your wife, your husband, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, your partner, your kids, your dependents. Your dependents could be a family member, could be your grandmother, whoever it is. That's a fact. So, with that being said, take that person who's taking care of three kids, wife's out of work, or they retired and they still have to pay the bills and pay off things so they can live whatever life that they're living that they want to maintain. It could be modest, it could be lavish, it could be somewhere in between. Tell that person when he or she is up 50 cents and sees the market going down that they're screwing up if they sell out of their position there when they're up halfway there. Like, oh, we're halfway there. Don't sell out now. Instead, live on a prayer. And that is the nonsense that Wall Street feeds you. That is the BS that everyone out there pitches. And if you don't like to hear that, if you want to hear that everything's hunky dory, again, I'm just going to ask the question. Explain to me why these rooms are having 95, 96% turnover ratio and why 97% of them are failing. Explain that to me. Explain to me why the numbers are like that. Don't even use the word most traders anymore because that is the understatement of the century. How about this? Almost every single trader that will step foot in that room, with the exception of a microfraction of them, will succeed or will fail, and a microfraction will succeed. Explain that to me. If what I'm saying is untrue, then why is everybody failing? Is just everybody a bunch of idiots? Is everybody undisciplined? I've seen police officers, fire officers, military, pilots. Are you telling me these people are undisciplined? Doctors, surgeons, lawyers, engineers. Are you telling me these people are undisciplined? Are you really trying to tell me that they just can't follow the rules? No, their brains are telling them I shouldn't be doing this. Yet the system is saying that I have to be confined in here. You're trapped in a prison cell, and if you stretch your legs, you screwed up. And that is the mentality, and that is why you are all failing. Not all. Some of you are successful and you're listening to this. But when you get that feeling, there is a reason why your brain is telling you that. There are things on your chart that you might be watching that nobody else is watching that you may feel makes it more difficult or easier for a certain target to hit. The longer you hold a position, the harder the decision is. It's funny how they say just set it and forget it. Who actually does that? Who actually buys a stock and says, I'm just going to pretend I don't have it anymore? You come back to your computer. What, did I really buy that? Oh, I guess I did. Like, is that you? Really? Wow. That's interesting. You cannot stick to conventional Wall Street trading rules. That is what I do different. Everything. Why? Because convention has a phenomenally low hit rate, ladies and gentlemen, for successful traders. And it may seem strange to have a trading rule which says that we should not follow the rules, and yet I think that there are conventional trading rules which are commonly accepted, never questioned, applied by the vast majority of traders, and which can be absolutely harmful, if not devastating, to your results and your life. It's helpful to remember that 97% of traders lose money in the short and medium term. If you take out beginner traders who place bets, which are gambling rather than trade, by badly managing their leverage and their emotions, there is still a large majority of experienced seasoned traders who do not manage to produce regular gains over a number of times. And yet, these are often encyclopedias of trading. They mastered all the theories, the indicators. They've read hundreds of books, paid who knows how much money on educational courses. They dominate the subject perfectly, and theoretically, they could give courses, but the regular earnings are just not there. In fact, trading, ladies and gentlemen, is much more than an accumulation of knowledge, which is, of course, essential somewhat for traders, but however, in this case, too much knowledge kills knowledge, and nobody talks about that. It becomes harmful, toxic. It blurs your vision of the markets. It leads to confusion because when one indicator to enter the market contradicts another, one says that you should sell and take profits because the financial markets are overexcited, and another shows that there is still room for bullish movement, and finally, charting analysis predicts a market collapse, and you're all on your own. Just, do whatever you want, right? It is for these reasons that I strongly, strongly advocate that each and every one of you traders establish your own rules and abides by them. Gains and regularity only come with the rigid application of these rules. And the key to success in trading is custom made. All traders who earn their living by trading their own accounts all have this particularity. And they think for themselves and they don't apply a miracle method to everything they do. They have adapted their way of trading to who they are, to their psychological strengths, to their psychological weaknesses, to their capital, to their lifestyle, to the situation they're in, etc. Conventional trading rules or methods are ready to wear average methodologies that can apply to an average trader with average capital and a typical psychology. We are worth better than ready to wear, ready to think, ready to trade nonsense that is shoved down our throats every single day by all these idiotic videos on the internet. You should take losses and let your gains run, right? And some rules, such as you should take losses, have meaning and save your capital from ruin. I get it. But I suggest, as an example, questioning the continuation of this conventional trading rule, let gains run. You know, traders I have seen, I've lost, I've lost, I've lost count. I've lost count already, ladies and gentlemen. I've lost count already. I applied this rule for years and was never good at it. And then I said, okay, I'm running trading rooms for 13 years and I met, I don't know, 100,000 traders, 80,000, 120,000. You sort of lose count after like 400. Okay. And I've never met traders who do that consistently. Yes, I met traders who had runs where they've done that and done well, but they never do it consistently over time. This rule, I can safely say, does not apply to me at all because after more than, you know, 20 years plus of trading, I decided to take an approach to trading, my approach to trading, and throw out everything that Wall Street had to say completely out. Everything that I was showed, taught, learned was no use to me since I cannot make gains using those methodologies. Therefore, I removed all the indicators I had in front of my eyes. If you're looking at an indicator on your chart and you don't know how to make money off it 70% of the time or more, ignore it. If you're not using that indicator in conjunction with another indicator to make money 70% of the time or more, throw it out. A lot of traders have how many traders out there have their trading charts look like the dashboard of a Boeing 747? Right? And after having analyzed the hundreds of thousands of trades that I've made over my career, which was a mammoth task, I discovered something which I have never seen with such clarity. You ready? What I saw with such clarity. 90% or more of my trades, my losing trades, had been gains at some time. I'm going to repeat that. That's funny, Colton. 90% of my losing trades have been gains at some time. For me, the let gains run turned into immense losses or smart stop losses. On the strength of these findings, I devised a new rule. You should take your losses and take your gains quickly. And I tested it for a few months, then a few years, then a decade, and then a score. Four scores in 20, no, 20 years, going on my 21st year, right? My new goal was therefore the following. As soon as my position has been up money and I was ready to close, even with a modest gain, I would lock the trade down and either let it win a ride or exit the trade completely. The idea was that I should no longer turn a possible gain into an actual loss. How many people have heard a bird in the hand is worth two in the bush? Now that's a saying I believe in. By modifying this conventional trading rule, I have developed a very particular style of scalping that I like to call hyper scalping. I scalp to earn on average very modest gains via options. You could do it with extremely small accounts again, I could talk about miracle stories here in the Newsbeat Live Room. You know, recent two miracle stories. Somebody late on their mortgage, took $450 from their mortgage, signed up with the $49 trial you see in the description of this video. And by the way, there's a free ebook in this video as well. Take the free ebook and pretty much just crushed it. Made hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars, was able to pay off their mortgage in full. It was a miracle. And then one person turned $50,000 into like 950, and this year over a million by this point in 1 year. And those success stories aren't unique in terms of a success story, they're unique in terms of the money. But traders that I see who tell me they're trading things like between 25 and 100, 25 and $100,000 and turning it into like 300,000 to 700,000 happen all the time in our room. Why? Because they are just being smart. How many of you are making money over 95% of the time on a trading day? I don't make money on 95% of my trades. I make money on 95% of my days. And that's a very big deal. It's one thing to sit there and measure, your months. It's one other thing to measure your days. That's true consistency. And if you want to do the step further, measure it by every single trade you make. So when I was looking for strategies that could work over 80% of the time, I mean, my benchmark is 70, but I like to aim for 80, 85, 90. I could throw some size in and literally make 10, 20, 30% of my money with a quick scalp option trade. And if I throw $5,000 at a quick trade and within 30 seconds to 5 minutes, I'm up, 20% of my money, that's $1,000 in 30 seconds to 5 minutes of work. I have no stress. I have no FOMO. I could give a crap where the stock goes afterwards. I locked it down. I could pay my bills. $1,000 a day is not it's not a bad yearly salary. It's 250,000. Now, granted, I make more than that, but I'm just giving you an example on a stupid quick scalp trade. You know what I mean? With this new trading rule that I tailor made to compensate for my own psychological weakness, what I realized is this psychological weakness I had pretty much afflicted probably 98, 99% of the traders I've ever met. And as soon as I was up money, I would lock in. Each person is unique, but what I've realized is that the majority of us suffer from the same psychological pitfalls. And if you could design strategies that avoid them, for example, what I just told you on the quick scalp side, and if you don't think you have the speed, I promise you, you are probably wrong. Most traders who think you need to like have some incredible speed to do this, not necessarily. It helps, but it's not a prerequisite. Making money in the market can really be easy. And I know there's a lot of things out there that offer you deep education and say it has to be like this. And then there's others where, it's just this one simple trick I found. But here's the truth. The market is going to keep changing. And your simple tricks have to keep changing as well. That is the only way you're going to be able to continue. That is the only way you're going to be able to continue. And I know I yelled in the mic. And if you're watching this long after I yelled into the mic, sorry for being loud. I know it's late at night, but believe me, if what I was saying really did not upset me, I probably wouldn't be here because I just wouldn't give a crap, is the truth. And I would rather be honest, be truthful, be straightforward, and tell you how it is and tell you what and where Wall Street steers people wrong, and maybe risk letting out the emotional feelings behind that, being in this industry so long, rather than just pitching, the same garbage nonsense that every other person pitches out there and act like it's the holy grail of trading when in actuality it isn't. Every strategy changes. It has to. I mean, every strategy doesn't have to change, but the market changes, and the market changes, and your strategies have to change as well. So, I hope you guys enjoyed this psychology talk. When your mind is telling you to sell out of a position, your brain is trying to save you from itself. Don't ignore it. Don't pretend like you're in a lose-lose scenario because you have to hold for your target price. Don't fall out of your comfort zone. Trading is supposed to be a very comfortable job as humanly possible. I understand that it can't be 100% stress-free. I understand that you can't have 100% comfort. And I'm not saying you need a luxurious room at the Waldorf, but you could get a very luxurious bed at the Hilton and be very comfortable rather than feeling like you're running across, the North and South Korea border, which has a bunch of landmines in between it and trying to avoid them. You could try to do that, for example. So I mean, all I have to say ultimately is just listen to yourself. Stop drinking the Kool-Aid in which Wall Street throws at you. Some people, it's going to take you a little longer to try to adapt to this mentality. Some people will become a lot quicker based on your psychology, based on your past, based on who you are, to a small degree, even genetically who you are. But as soon as you're able to overcome that fact that your brain is actually trying to save you, not hurt you, and that trading systems can't be confined, they have to be fluid, you're on your way to success. Maybe one of the best courses I've ever done is the Newsbeat Bandit course because it literally teaches your brain how to be fluid in every situation. We literally took, you know, um, a military hero from the United States, John Boyd, who invented the OODA loop. We literally built a bridge between the OODA loop and trading, so how to react to every situation in a real-time setting as it's happening. It's the only course of its kind. Um, I'm not gonna. You could write an email in the description if you're interested. I'm not here to sell you a course. I'm just here to tell you, be fluid on your trading. It is the best decision that I have ever made in my life. And if you talk to the Newsbeat Live members, for so many of them, it's the best decision that they made in their lives as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this Newsbeat show. Happy trading, make money. I will see you guys tomorrow night for another Newsbeat show and Tuesday morning on the Newsbeat Live trading broadcast. Remember, there's a free ebook in the description. Take it, read it, take advantage of it. Have a wonderful evening.